I've become an expert on what the everyday abortion mill workers say to women because I've heard it firsthand, and I've trained and briefed investigators who go in and collect evidence firsthand. In clinics across the country, Planned Parenthood employees have said that the heartbeat starts at 11 weeks, at 20 weeks, or just when the baby is born. They call the unborn child's heart an electrical flicker. They call the unborn child fetal matter an alien, a tadpole, a cup of coleslaw, any number of dehumanizing names. Planned Parenthood lies to women, and they must be held accountable. It is this very dehumanization of the unborn child that allows the slaughter in our country to continue. The once pro-life Reverend Jesse Jackson said a very long time ago, quote, "Those advocates of taking life prior to birth do not call it killing or murder. They call it abortion. They say fetus because fetus sounds less than human, and therefore abortion can be justified." Well, I have a message to Reverend Jesse Jackson, who once knew the score on abortion, and to all the politicians, the legislators, the judges, the citizens, the journalists, who once knew and still know in their hearts that abortion kills a human being. To those who continue to hide behind all the euphemisms and are pro-choice, as that Planned Parenthood board member claimed she was. And it is this message that we will send all the way up to President Obama's pay grade. This is... This is the message. People who respect human life are now in the majority. So listen to the growing revolt. Listen to the people who demand justice for all Americans, even the smallest. Because if you don't listen to those who represent you, they will outvote you, they will replace you, and they will overcome you. The great patriot Patrick Henry once said, "Gentlemen may cry peace, peace, but there can be no peace. The war has already begun. Our brethren are already in the field. Why then do we stand here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish, or ladies? What would they have?" Patrick Henry's cry is a cry for today too. For as Mother Teresa says, the greatest destroyer of peace today is the cry of the unborn child. It is a cry because that child has been rejected by those who should embrace her, by her own legislators, by her own courts, by her own grandparents, by her own parents, by her own mother. A cry because that child will be destroyed before she has a chance to reach out and touch the world and offer herself to God and for others. A cry because there is no greater destroyer or bloodier destroyer of peace. And these days, we are hungry for peace. But we cannot have peace in the world, in America, in our families, in our own lives, if we live with abortion. Mother Teresa tells us in her Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, and every opportunity Mother Teresa had strong words to say about abortion. She says, "In a nation where a mother can kill her own child, what is left for me and for you to kill each other? In the scriptures it is written, even if a mother can forget her own child, I will not forget you. For our God does not forget us or these children, and he is present during every abortion. Likewise, we must be present as with open arms as a witness to God's grace and his love to welcome these children and help their mothers." If I could insist, this might sound a little strange, but if I could insist, as long as they are legal in our nation, abortions would be done in the public square. Until we were so sick and tired of seeing them that we would do away with the injustice altogether. Maybe then we would value the unborn child as we value the 1-year-old child just learning to walk. And maybe then we might hear angels singing when we ponder the glory of conception, that first beginning of human life. I'm young, I only turned 21 a couple months ago, and I've only been working a short time, but I will continue to dedicate my life to ending the dark injustice of abortion. When we have a nation that's founded on the right to life, like our great country, and I love our country, and we love our country, but when we have a nation that's founded on the right to life, like the Declaration of Independence states so clearly, we're given, endowed by our Creator with these rights, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life comes first. Consider that for a moment, the creed of human rights that we stand by, that nations and the United Nations claims to stand for, it has to start with the right to life. And if the most vulnerable member of society is denied the most fundamental right, you have the potential for a human rights crisis of the most epic proportions. And that's what we're seeing in the United States today. And this is the beginning of the end of democracy. And that's the system they've set up for our young people, and that's when they're going into our schools and teaching children as young as in kindergarten to experiment sexually and develop sexual patterns of behavior that are only going to harm them in the long run. And that's part of their plan. And when I said at the beginning of this talk, Planned Parenthood is the most evil organization in human history, I'm saying that because, one, they've killed more people than any other single organization. They've killed more people than any other single organization. They've killed more people than any other single organization. They've killed more people than any other single organization. They've killed more people than any other single organization. They've killed more people than any other single organization. And when I said at the beginning of this talk, Planned Parenthood is the most evil organization in human history, I'm saying that because, one, they've killed more people than any other single organization.